Salutations and proclamations. It is I, it is you, it is us, it is we. Together, that makes us the Day Left It Podcast. Welcome everybody, I'm Philly's #1 son, aka the Body Alchemist, and I welcome you to this podcast on, I don't know particular what date it is because I'm not looking at a calendar, but whatever date this is, I welcome you to our podcast, and I thank you for tuning in and taking your time with us. We have an awesome show this week. We have guests with us, Bionic Woman Kim. All right, a woman that I want you all to take your time to listen to. Her story is inspirational. Her drive is inspirational and motivational, and I just think she's just straight up cool. Outside the fact of just being straight up and down gorgeous. So tune in for that interview, which is coming up. I know you're going to enjoy it. She's a trainer. She's a nutritionist. She's a nurse. She's a mother. She's a sister. She is bionic. And that's just going to be an awesome interview. Also up, we have Sidiqua Bey. She will be here, and she will be talking about being a doula and why you should have one, why it's necessary, and what it can do for you. All right, all the young mothers out there who are pregnant or just finding out that they're pregnant, or you're going through your pregnancy, you might want to get a doula. Something that I think is very, after finding out the information, is very, very necessary, at least for myself, for some. Just for everything that's been explained to me. So tune in. It's going to be a very interesting Day Life Fit podcast. Going to take some quick time out, though, to send a shout out to everybody who has listened in so far. Thank you so much. We are slowly building our name and who it is that we do and what we do. Also, I want to thank all of our past guests. Shout out to Vegan Chef David Bey for coming on to the podcast and sharing so much information. I know there's so much questions, and a lot of people have questions. Also, I want to quickly throw out, I myself, I think, have been messing up the email. When I put together the podcast and when I'm sitting down with everybody, I always try to have information in front of me. But the truth of it is, I tend to go off of feeling and the rhythm of how I feel things are going. And sometimes I have things in front of me and I forget to look because I'm constantly, my brain is like a freeway, an expressway. It's things going and coming and moving in and things like that. So just for everybody, the email for the podcast is daylifit13. That's daylifit13. I think I've been saying daylife13, but it's daylifit13@gmail.com. So if you have any comments, if you have any ideas, if you have any topics that you would like us to discuss, please hit us at daylifit13@gmail.com, and we will respond to you because we constantly monitor the email. Look, I'm walking around. I have the email on my phone. I get the messages. I get everything. As soon as people hit me with a question, I'm trying to find a way to put things together so that we can have a show that discusses and brings up the things that you all want to know and want information on when it comes to fitness and health. So anyway, just to let you know that, the Day Life Fit podcast is always on my mind. So I do want to take some quick time out to say that I've been seeing some really positive images on social media amongst all of the murky ethers of it. And I have been seeing some things that I thought were beautiful. I was recently asked not too long ago, when should a child start training weightlifting? Now, as a certified master trainer, it is my belief that you can start a child out as old as 6 years old. You could actually start a child younger than that. And when I say younger than that, you have to, this is for everybody, please pay attention to what I'm saying. understanding you're not having the child bench 1,000 pounds. You're not trying to put them on a specific weight regimen, not a target. For young ages, it's motor skill development. All right, developing skills that will allow the child to move correctly, or to get their use of their limbs and things like that. I would say if you're going to start a child weightlifting, on a weightlifting program or teaching them any type of weightlifting program, I would say from 6 up to 10. You can start them up through those ages as young. Now, again, when I say this, I want everybody to be very, 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 very attentive to the words that I'm about to say. I do not mean bodybuilding. I do not mean strenuous, go hard or go home. I don't mean any of that nonsense. I mean thinking about it 100%, talking to people who are experienced and know what they're talking about, finding out from your physician, finding out, doing the research on how it should be properly done. I do not make these statements loosely. All right? So I want you to hear me. For everybody out there, because I don't want anybody coming back and saying, hey, son, you said that my child could start weightlifting and now she's got all these problems. And you know what? I will say to you, as a parent, you should have more common sense. Now, when I say this, I don't mean to push your child like you would push yourself. All right? What I'm saying is you can teach them technique. You can use very, very acceptable weight for their age. For what you're doing, you want to know and you want to teach your child technique. Proper technique deals with proper body mechanics, which is going to aid that child as they grow with stronger bones, all right? Because it builds bone density, all right? With a better sense of how to motor skills, all right? How to move their body. It's going to aid them in the things as they grow. All right. So please, I don't want to hear anything later about, oh, you did this and that. No. All right. I want you to think and be educated and truly take the time to sit down and find out what can be done. And if you have questions, you can email me. You can email me here at the show. All right. At the email I just gave, which is daylafit13@gmail.com. All right. Or you can find me on social media at _body_alchemist, all right, spelled ALKAMIST, all right. You can do that, all right, and I will answer your questions because I do not want any children hurt. All right. But if you're going to, you can have a child start a resistance training program that is beneficial for their age and their growth. As young, I would say as 6 years old. All right. It's teaching them proper, and it doesn't have to be intensive or crazy and every day and anything like that. You can make it fun. You can do games and things like that. I do games with the children at one of my workplaces. All right, physical education games that allow them to make use of their body movements, learn motor skills. All right, a lot of cooperative skills and things of that nature. All right, and all these have been proven to aid in increasing blood flow, increasing their learning ability, all right, their ability to concentrate, all right, cognitive ability, a lot of other things. So, with that being said, going back to what I was originally talking about, I've been seeing images of fathers and mothers with their children training in the gym or in special places, and I think it's beautiful. I saw recently on social media 2 young girls who participated in junior powerlifting competitions. And I would say to anybody that's listening, oh man, it was the most motivational, the most inspiring thing ever. Seeing a child accomplish things is to me one of the most rewarding things in the world. It brings tears to my eyes because the children are the cure for the future. That's 100% hands down the truth. You want to cure anything, you want to fix the problems, invest in children. Any problem. That's why we have such problems today. And not to get on my high horse or my soapbox, but I'm going to talk about it for a few moments. The problems that we have today are because of what the children see, of what we put out. We are role models for our children, whether you're an entertainer, an athlete, whatever. If you don't think you're a role model, you're full of poo-poo, all right? You're full of crap. That's the truth. And for anybody that's trying to debate that, I'm going to tell you this. When you were a child, there were people you looked up to. You looked up to. The moment they looked up to you, they became a role model. And for us to say, oh, you're not a role model, I'm not a role model, you are a role model. As children don't always know what type of behavior to accept and what not. That's why it's so imperative. It is so imperative that we think about the things we put out. And I always say, have an explanation. Don't just say, oh, it is what it is. That's irresponsibility. And many of us on this planet don't like to take responsibility. And I can understand that fully because guess what? Taking responsibility sometimes sucks. And I know that firsthand. But it is the truth. So anyway, I just wanted to say that seeing some of these things on social media I thought was so beautiful. And one of my favorites, I was watching a child. I think she has to be like 6 years old, and her father is teaching her to powerlift, and he has the little teeny bar, which can't have been more than about 5 pounds, and he's got on a special safety rack and he's teaching her. And the thing of it is the smile on her face as she's doing this, but she's learning. And not only is he teaching her, he's teaching her something that's going to benefit her as she grows older. And as a little girl, a little queen, she's going to realize she's going to benefit from that from so many different purposes, so many different ways. She is going to be strong. She's going to know that being strong is not just the right of a young man. It's the right of every human being. Human beings can be strong, can be fit, can be healthy, and it can be fun. And I hope, and I hope, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be something that's going to stick with her as she grows older, which is something that we need to instill in both our young men and our young women. If you want a better world, you have to invest in children. That's it. But anyway, that's my little moment. We're going to get into this great interview with Bionic Woman Kim. And I'm just so excited to have everybody here. Again, thank you for tuning in this week. You can see this. I don't know. You can hear the smile on my face. Hey, everybody, guess where you're at? It's the De La Fit Podcast.
You're now tuned in to the De La Fit Podcast. It's time for Dropping the Jewels.
What's going on, everybody? I am here with another guest, somebody that it's funny. I used to actually work with this young woman. She used to be my supervisor, and we went on 2 different paths after we worked at this place that will remain nameless. We had some adventures, but it's interesting. We both, after leaving this said place, went on 2 different paths dealing with, I would say, fitness and health. I mean, I think they kind of combine and are very similar. And we recently got in touch with one another, introducing Miss Sidiqua Bey. And Sidiqua, are you on the line?
Yes.
How you doing today, Sidiqua?
I'm good.
All right. Now, for everybody out there, it may sound like she is a little bit quiet because she has a baby in the background. So congratulations to you on that. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Most excellent. Anytime a new life comes into the world, and it's always a precious and beautiful thing, and that's awesome. which is partly the topic of today, because Sidiqua, you are a doula, and I'm always feel like I'm mispronouncing that word. Am I saying it correctly?
That's right. It's a doula. It's actually a Greek. It comes from the Greek word, and it means companion.
Okay. All right. Well, first things first, I know very little about this, but I was interested from the information in the conversation that we had previously, and I thought what you told me was really piqued my interest. And part of what we do here at the Daily Fit Podcast is we are a fitness and holistic health podcast. So no aspect of life when it comes to health is untouched. And I think this is something that is really interesting. So could you tell us, first of all, a little bit about yourself and how you got, or you started the journey to be a doula?
Okay. My name is Sidiqua Bey. I'm from Philadelphia. In my journey to figure out what I wanted to get into as far as my career, I realized that I wanted to do birth work, meaning work with people in the birthing community and help bring life to this world. So one of my friends told me about this doula training that was happening soon, and the doula I'm sorry. It's a doula training. Basically, you learn how to be a birth companion.
Okay.
In the class, it was about a 12-week class. We spent time learning about childbirth education. You learn everything about birth, everything that happens from the time a woman gets pregnant to the time that she conceives, and even afterwards in the postpartum period. So you learn everything that happens in the process, and you learn how to assist people through each part of that.
Okay.
So after the 12 weeks, you are taking on clients in the community, actually. So in March City is where they're based. We started taking community women and coaching them through pregnancy and childbirth.
Okay. So I'm interested in the words you use. You said, well, first of all, birthing companion. I like that. I like that a lot because the first thing it made me think of is dealing with, first of all, just the intimacy of carrying a child, which I do not know, of course, firsthand, but having two sisters who I've witnessed, them going through their pregnancies and the things that they went through, and having friends who have children and everything. One thing I have seen is that the connection to mother and child as the child grows, and there can be at times I see the emotional I don't want to say, I want to use the right word. I see the different hormone changes and things like that. As a birthing companion, do you assist with that, or how does that come into play with what you do, or does it come into play?
As far as education, we let women know, like, not exactly what they want to go through because each birth is different.
Okay.
So we let them know what to be aware of as far as the hormonal changes, and how to, not necessarily get rid of them or avoid them, but to learn how to, basically balance yourself back out.
Right. Okay. So what would some of that be? Give for somebody who is listening to the show right now, to be mother, what is some of the advice you would give her for, say, like she's in her, I'll say fourth month?
Okay. So for women in their first trimester and the second trimester, or early second trimester, um, things to kind of help you out would be just focusing on your breathing. There's prenatal yoga, prenatal massage, things that might help you, just relax and just guide you as far as calming and balancing as far as, if you're getting overwhelmed or.
Got you. Okay.
You know.
So you're acting as that emotional companion as well as that physical companion, that person to help them kind of, would I say, guide them? Would that be the proper way of explaining it or understanding it?
Yeah. So when a person a person that's listening is thinking if they want to get a doula or not. First, you want to just look up doulas, and you'll just see that we don't do anything medical for you. We just help you and guide you through your pregnancy. If you have any questions about what's going to happen, what does this mean? I have a feeling right here. We don't diagnose you, but we can say, this during this month is, the time when you'll start to feel contractions, or we can kind of let them know the steps from there. So you start suffering contractions, you can call us, we'll be there with you to help you breathe, massage your back, and just kind of help you work through them and help you understand that birth isn't anything to fear. You kind of get your power, your strength, and we help you as far as just getting through and just the transition. There's going to be pain, but you're not going to remember it as, this pain. Is going to be one of the most beautiful things, that you ever see.
Right. I like what you're telling me so far, because it sounds like sisterhood. That's what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean? And I like that. And again, part of what we do here is we believe that, everyone is in a village. It's the same thing. Each one teach one. We all help each other to grow. And this goes right in line with what it is that what we like to practice here at the show. So I want to ask you a question. Because what about postpartum? Now that is a concern for, or has been a concern and talked about, and something that I have seen dealing with a very close friend of mine. Would a doula help with that type of situation, or kind of help to guide to the individual who would be able to help with that type of mental aspect of pregnancy or after pregnancy?
Yes. So there are also postpartum doulas. Postpartum is just a period of time after you give birth. It can be like right now, my daughter is 20 months old, so I'm 20 months postpartum. What you're talking about is postpartum depression.
Yes.
Now, that's typically after a woman gives birth, her hormones again are balancing out. A lot of times, the lifestyle changes. So, you're higher stress, less sleep. And there's this crying baby, usually a lot of demands for you. So a lot of women do go through a small, stressful period, and typically known as the baby blues. However, a lot more serious and severe symptoms where maybe mom might feel like she wants to harm the baby or harm herself, or just just a lot deeper than just being a little bummed out or, just sleep deprived and snappy, So that's when you go into postpartum depression. And again, your doula will meet with you after the baby, and that's something that we look out for. And typically we're not the ones to say, oh, you have postpartum depression, but we would say, why don't what's going on, how you feeling, what's going on, and we, take your temperature, like, okay, he's feeling kind of depressed, and, maybe you should talk to somebody. We'll kind of guide you that way.
Okay. So where would a person, a young mother, or anybody find a potential doula for themselves? Is there a website where they can go, or depending on what state they're in, or would they go to their local hospital or their doctor? Who would they contact?
They can look at, Google for doulas in their area, just doulas in the city, and usually they'll find some websites of local doulas, and you want to interview your doulas. You want to find somebody that you feel comfortable enough with, somebody that you would like to be there with you in one of the most intimate times,
Right.
So you want somebody that's knowledgeable.
Could you let the individuals out there who may want to contact you, all right, let them know if you have an Instagram or if you have an email? Can you let them know what your social media is and how they can contact you?
You can contact me through my email. My doula website is not up yet, but you can email me at moon, MOON, days, DAZE, co, CO, at gmail.com. That's moondayesco at gmail.com.
Sidiqua, that sounds awesome, and we appreciate what you do, and we thank you for coming on the show. I hear the little one in the background. She sounds precious. It's been awesome talking with you, and we hope to have you back on the show again soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're now tuned into the De La Fit Podcast.
We're back. It's the De La Fit Podcast, and I have with me Bionic Woman Kim, or also known as Kimberly, I'm going to really mess this up, Frempong.
You got that right.
Oh, I got it right? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
See, you messed me up when you asked me how much I hit in the deadlift. I was keeping down the grabs. Like, she asked me at the last minute, y'all, as soon as I was about to go into the interview. She's like, what you hit on your deadlift? I'm like, what? Nah. No, can't share that yet. Can't let the people know. What's going on, Kim? How you doing today?
I am great. How about yourself?
I am doing a lot better. For everybody that's tuning in, we were just talking, and I've been trained a little hard, really hit it a little hard. So, for those that understand, as I know you do, Kim, sometimes when you hit really hard, when you're doing a multi-joint movement like deadlifting, it can really tax your nervous system. And if you're not careful, it can make you think that you'll feel like you're sick. And that, along with having a misaligned bed, that kind of messed me up. So feeling a lot better, got some food in me, feeling stronger, feeling better, and it's the end of the day, so we're ready for this. And so happy about this interview, because we were gonna have this interview, or we started this interview before, but I wanted everybody to get a chance to really listen to this woman right here. Just because we had a few interruptions, and I wanted no interruptions on this interview. So, introducing Bionic Woman Kim. All right, Miss Frempong. All right, she's a trainer, she's a nurse, she's a nutritionist, and she's a really cool person. Please introduce yourself, Kim.
Hi, everyone. This is Kim Frempong, also known as Bionic Woman Kim. And as my brother has stated, I am a bodybuilder. I'm a mom, first and foremost. A mom of a beautiful young lady. And I am also a registered nurse. bodybuilder, powerlifter, nutritionist, dancer, posing coach, aerial artist, and the list goes on and on and on and on.
She wears a lot of hats, y'all. She wears a lot of hats.
In other words, live life to the fullest.
So, Kim, brought you on the show because I wanted to have a little talk about nutrition. But I wanted to ask you, and this is where we first started. How did you get started? When did you want to become a trainer, and how did all of this, your fitness journey, start for you?
Well, in high school, in middle school and high school, I was very active. I played basketball and ran track. And then I gave that up in college. You know, you get busy in college. You really get bogged down with your books and your studies, and you kind of throw your health and everything out the window. You're just lucky if you don't wear the same underwear twice in a row in college. So I had to buckle down for that. And once I got out of college, I just continued. I was no longer lifting or working out or playing any sports or doing anything. However, I became a registered nurse, and even though I was a registered nurse, I really wasn't taking good care of myself. So I moved on, got married, and I had 2 beautiful children. And, you know, when you're a new parent or a new mother, you kind of put everyone else first and yourself on the back burner. And I did what so many mothers and women out there do, put myself last. Well, I was taking my oldest daughter to the restaurant. We were all in the mall, actually, as our family. We were all in the mall, and my oldest child, who was 2.5, almost 3 years old at that time, needed to use the restroom. And I took it to the Kohl's restroom, Kohl's department store restroom. And because I took it there because I had the little girl toilet in there, the children's toilet. So as she began to sit down and use the restroom, I went over to the sink to wait for her to finish. And that was at the time in which I just all of a sudden couldn't breathe. Just unexpectedly, no warning sign. Just couldn't take my next breath. And, you know, we all take for granted breathing. But that was cut from me all of a sudden. And, of course, you know, second count at that time. And I knew, okay, I need to get to the door so someone can see that, you know, I'm having a problem here. I felt like I was having a heart attack. Once again, I didn't have any warning signs. So I moved away from the sink and opened the door, and everything on my body began to cramp because, of course, I wasn't breathing. And I slid down into the door frame and just thinking, God, not like this. You know, don't let me go out like this. Not in front of my child. No, not like this. But, you know, anything but not like this. And my last words, because I couldn't say much words, don't look at mommy. And after that, my body began to do its own thing. And I began to shake. And there was a lot of pain. Oh my goodness, there was so much pain. And then all of a sudden there was no more pain. But I felt like, okay, I'm lifting. I felt myself lifting from my body. But I was begging God, please, you know, give me one more chance. I'll do whatever I need to do. You know, not my time to go. You know, my children are so young. Not now. Whatever I had to say, I was pleading, God, please, just one more chance. Give me one more chance. I promise I'll take care of myself. I'll do what I need to do, and to take care of myself. I promise I'll put me ahead of a lot of the things that don't matter. And it seemed as if someone knocked me in my chest, like knocked me back down onto the floor, into my body. And all of a sudden, the pain came back, and it was excruciating. And I began to gasp for air. And it took me a moment to, at least 5 minutes, to get myself together and crawl over to the sink. And my daughter was still feeling fun. She wasn't looking at mommy. And I slowly lifted up to the sink and got water on my face. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just began to thank God. I just began to thank God. God gave me another chance. This is it. God gave me one more chance. This is it. And I got my daughter together and proceeded to go out and tell my now ex-husband that I thought I had a heart attack in a restroom. From there, I made sure every day I took at least an hour to walk. I took my children, put them in a stroller, walk around the neighborhood. And ladies, you know how it is. If your thighs start rubbing, you know, when you're a big girl coming down. I was over 215 pounds. I stopped looking when I got over 215 pounds. So just to step on the scale. My size was drawstring. One size fits most. And my shoes are even Velcro. Yep, Velcro. I was a big girl. And I began to walk around in the neighborhood, and that chafing, you know, the legs, you know, when your thighs are rubbing together. Oh my goodness, that was horrible. But I still walked through it, did my Benadryl, put the creams on, did whatever I had to do to get through the walk. I did that every day for an hour. And then I walked into one day, I began to leave my kids with their father and demanded that I have an hour to myself to just do me, to take care of me, where I didn't have to worry about children or anything else. And I walked into an alternative fitness studio, which was called Pure Passion, and I really didn't know what that meant. I just liked the fact that there were curtains up, it was dark in there, I wouldn't have to see myself in the light, and that was another problem. I had a body image issue. I didn't like to look at myself in the mirror. Quite frankly, I couldn't recall really looking in the mirror that much. And nice young ladies were in their 20s, I was in my 30s, and they began to tell me, hey, you know, we do alternative fitness here, which is another term for pole fitness, stiletto, aerobics or stiletto fitness. They also had African dance in there and some other forms of fitness. And I walked right on in and thought I could do the little pole thing. It was going to be easy. And the first time I went around that pole, I fell flat on my butt. Now, from there, I got back up. Of course, my booty was hurt, but I got back up and I came there every day. Needless to say, I got down to 176 pounds, from over 216 to 176 pounds in less than 6 months. I actually entered Miss Georgia Pole competition here, and it's not raunchy. There was nothing raunchy about it. Most people think pole fitness is raunchy. There's of course, a seductive side to it, which I would suggest all ladies learn, so you can get in touch with yourself. But I did Miss Georgia Pole and won. Entered into bodybuilding from there, and I began to pay more and more attention to what I was eating. Now, to begin with, I didn't know what that cake I was doing. I did what a lot of people do. you look at these little diet pills. Maybe if I take that diet pill over there, I'm not going to put any names out there. That diet pill over there, the popular one, that you probably find at, the Wally World. I took that and almost passed out. It was sad. But I stopped taking the diet pills. I said, what is this eating? Okay, well, maybe, I'm not eating enough because I felt like, okay, I just won't eat that much. I eat a handful of food here.
Mm-hmm.
I eat a handful of food there, and I didn't pay any attention.
So you try to drop your caloric intake, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I lowered my caloric intake. I lowered my intake period, and tried to drink more water. And that didn't work because I was getting lightheaded and dizzy, and that's when I found out that I'm hypoglycemic. I'm naturally hypoglycemic. So that means my blood sugars are naturally low anyways than an average person. So I hover around 60 to 80, and that's after a Chick-fil-A meal, which is not good news. So I found that out later. However, I realized I needed to do something, correct my eating. What could I do immediately? Now, being a busy mom, taking care of everything and everybody, my husband at the time, he's from Ghana. He has his traditional food. So I had to cook his food his way. Then, of course, my children didn't eat the same food. They were much younger, so I had a baby. I had baby food that I made from scratch. And my almost 3-year-old, she was, of course, on the food. Her diet was completely different. And then I moved to just eating what everybody didn't eat, which is a bad thing. Okay?
Okay.
And so I just began to eat whatever my husband didn't finish, eating. I just sit down after everybody was finished, and I would eat whatever was left over. Bad idea. Okay, began to get a little push in the belly. Things weren't mixing properly, and got heartburn and felt like had no energy. Couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. So then I went through Beachbody. Well, you don't know if I could say the name. I went through all the fad meals and diet plans, and they just didn't work for me. Then I went raw. Completely raw. It was easy. Actually, it was easy.
When you say raw, are we talking like raw vegan?
Raw veggies.
Okay.
Raw veggies and raw fruit. Okay. Nuts and seeds. Nothing was cooked. Nothing. It was quite easy. I had a cooler. Okay, this blue cooler I used to carry around. I loaded it up with the little things you put in the freezer to keep everything cool. I loaded those into the cooler, and I loaded my carrot, my cauliflower, broccoli, peppers, my almonds, my peanuts, my apples and blackberries and strawberries. Everything was raw. Everything, celery, you name it. It was in that cooler. So and I sat on that.
Sorry, just to ask you a question, you just kind of like took it back to like square one.
Basic.
Okay.
Yes, square one. So it's easy. I didn't have to cook it. I just had to rinse it clean.
Okay.
So, and kept it cool. And I was always running around with my children or running errands for my husband. He was actually a luxury home builder. And so I ran all his errands, kept the books, and did all the meetings. And I just didn't really have time to sit down and prep for me. So this was my prep. At night, I would clean my veggies, put them in the Ziploc bags or the containers, load it, and I was good for the next day. And I just snacked throughout the day. No set time, just snack throughout the day. And that worked. I mean, to the point I got so small. There was absolutely no meat. I did absolutely no meat.
Wow.
Now, with that, of course, had lots of energy. I, a lot of energy. I ran circles around my children.
Okay.
And Raw was great. Raw was great until I had to go back to work.
Okay.
And I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was running all these errands that I had to go back to work. And that is when I ran into a problem with, and I didn't do any planning once again. If you didn't notice, in that plan, I had almonds, but I was low on protein, and low on iron, unfortunately. Even though I ate a load of spinach, kale, and things like that, I was low on, I was highly anemic. I ended up in the doctor's office, and my H&H was low, or that my blood count, my red blood cell count was low, and they were talking about giving me a blood transfusion. That's how low it is. It was. These are some of the warning signs of knowing that you are anemic. When you begin to feel confused, when you like to eat crushed ice all the time, when you have no energy, when you begin to forget the simple things like your middle name, your children's name, things you should not be forgetting. Okay? Unless you know you're in danger zone. You begin getting pale, you're cold all the time. Those are the warning signs. Had all of them. So I ended up getting an iron supplement and going back to being raw. But I began to do some research because I had to go back to red meat for a moment, and that's what my doctor wanted me to do for the time being until I could get to a nutritionist and figure out how to get the right iron intake. And so that's when my research really began, after that trip to the doctor. And I did all the studies and began to incorporate seeds. I didn't know much about seeds then. Incorporate seeds, incorporate herbs. I didn't know anything much about herbs. Didn't know much about vitamins, minerals. Didn't really know much. So I began to educate myself. And I went back to being vegan, at least, and then vegetarian. Then I went back to vegan. Then I did a whole lot of flip-flopping trying to figure myself out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to meat for a while, and I ended up becoming pescatarian for quite some time, where pescatarian means you have fish. You'll eat fish, but you don't eat red meat and the chicken or the other types of meat. So you will allow fish and then the veggies and your fruit. And I was there for quite some time. And it worked well. It depends on what body type you're looking for. I was very slim, muscular, low body fat. I was bodybuilding. My body fat was hovering around 11% at any given time. I tried not to dip below 10 because, ladies, below 10% is bad for women. And you don't want to hover in that range. It just becomes very dangerous. Now, men can hover at 2%, 3%. It's fine, but we bear children, and we have reproductive organs that depend on brown fat. There's something called brown fat, and that's necessary fat in order for you to function properly and your organs to function properly. With that said, ladies, we develop. A lot of people get concerned about that little pudge. It's like a little bitty pudge that you tend to get in your teen years, or right when you begin to get your cycle. You get a little bit of a pudge, and you call that bloating. Okay? That pudge continues to stay through the 20s and the 30s. Yeah, you have a six-pack, but it's just that tiny little pudge that is there for reproductive purposes. It's not that you're fat or you're out of shape. No, that's there for reproductive purposes. That is the fat you need in order for a child or a baby to live properly within your body. Okay, for you to actually carry a baby properly in your body. So that's normal. It's just going to let you know that little fudge. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. That's just God gave that to you for a reason. Okay, to support the habitation of a baby inside. Now, as you get older and getting your 40s and your 50s, that little pudge begins to go away. If you're working out, you'll notice that little pudge goes away because you're moving into menopause, moving closer to menopause. Now, that's if you are working out and you don't have to worry about things like you've had multiple C-sections or multiple births that really, really stretch you out in diastasis.
I do have a question. Not to cut you off, but you're opening some things I do want to ask you some questions about. Because I know we have women listeners, and I've been asked this plenty of times from friends of mine as well as relatives, and they'll ask me, son, how do I get rid of that pudge? Now, these are individuals, as you already talked about, who have had C-sections, they've had children, and some are entering or now past menopause. How would they begin to work or on getting that pudge down?
Okay, easy. First, you have to diagnose the pudge. Okay. A lot of women are walking around with something called diastasis, and I mentioned it not long ago. Diastasis is the separation of the abdominal wall. Okay, so when you're carrying a baby, you know how you expand and the belly gets so big and it's expanding. Sometimes your stomach wall separates right down the middle. Okay, so you know how you see some people with that beautiful 6-pack, 8-pack, 12-pack, whatever pack. Unfortunately, some ladies like myself, I ended up having it as well. We get separation of the stomach wall. Okay, so that pudge stays there. And nothing happens. It doesn't matter what you do, sit-ups, or corseting, or wrapping, or putting hot creams on, doesn't go away. Okay, diastasis requires, in order for you to get that to go away, you have to get yourself regirdled. That's surgery. Okay? Unfortunately, ladies, yes, that's the real thing. Some people have to get what they call regirdled, or their stomach wall sewn back together. Now, in order to diagnose that, it's simple. You can diagnose it yourself. You don't have to go to the doctor to see whether or not you have diastasis. You can actually have a loved one, your boo, your bae, to take their hand as if they're about to shake your hand, okay? So that means that all of their fingers are pointed straight at you where your abdominal region is, okay? And then they slowly go to the center of your tummy and see if their hand goes completely through your stomach wall. It's weird when you see it, okay? But you will see that your stomach wall will completely, it's like the waters of party, okay? It's like the Red Sea. The hand will go straight through the stomach wall, okay? And that way you know you have diastasis. Now, if the fingers can't go all the way through, then you don't have it. Okay, so that's one way, one diagnosis. That requires surgery. Lower pudge. Yes, I've had 2 C-sections. Okay, and I had to rebuild my lower abdominal region. That pudge takes time, okay, ladies, time and patience. And for me, I used hot cream, something called a Majestic Pure hot cream, to help the cellulite in that area. And I did the little $5 solid gold gym wraps from Wally World or Walmart. Whenever I worked out, I put a little hot cream on it, wear my little Ghost gym wrap, and I would hit the gym. Before my workout, I had a personal trainer, And I wore it during my training sessions. And every time, eventually, over time, that little pudge went down. I also had to get massages because I have scar tissue. Ladies who've had C-sections oftentimes have scar tissue. And that is just tissue that's formed over your normal tissue. As I said, on top of the 4, I had to get my scar tissue massaged. So I had a massage it down until it broke down to the regular tissue. Okay, so massages can help as well. They have several things out there. There's some ladies who decide to go get laser. There's some people who decide they do the hot creams and the wraps like I did. There's even the cooling agents out there now that break up adipose tissue in that area if you want to do that. And there's heat as well that can help break that down as well. But the cheapest and most affordable way is to work out, eat right, and you can do the little hot creams and the wraps. So just eat right, and you won't have to worry about that. Your body will eventually turn it. Okay, now you don't have to go kill yourself in abdominal exercises. Okay, ladies, you don't. Because if you're in a gym and you're actively on the machines, you're working out for personal trainer, or you're following my brother here with all his, workouts he does, which I've been watching, you're going to burn right through the fat. Okay, you're just going to naturally burn right through that. Just make sure you rest. And with that said, you'll see the difference. You don't have to kill your abs. You can do simple ab workouts, but nothing where you have to kill them every day. And your abs will eventually come on in. Abs are made in the kitchen. It's true. It's true. It's true. You can't go eat Burger King and expect a six-pack.
Wait a minute. Could you please say that again, sister? Could you please say that one more time for our people out there, for the men and women listening? Could you say it one more time for us?
You can't go eat Burger King and expect a six-pack. Doesn't happen.
I can hear him now. I can hear him crying. No more Popeyes. No more KFC.
No, say that stuff. Come on.
Can you hear the screaming? No. I can hear it all the way over here.
Oh, you got to make a change in your life. And with that said, that's when I learned how to correct through nutrition. I had to do so much. Like I said, I went through all the little diets, intermittent fasting, beach diet, active. I've even done, what are the fasting diets,
the intermittent diet, like the intermittent fasting and all that.
Yeah, I did intermittent fasting. That didn't work for me, and the reason why, once again, I'm hypoglycemic.
Right.
So it didn't work for me. But it does work for some people. You just have to realize what you're walking into these diets with. You can't just say, ladies and gents, you have to understand your history before you approach these diets. I'm going to say it one more time. Know your medical history. Take that into account before you approach a diet, a certain diet or meal plan. It's not all meal plans are one size fits all. Okay? What may work for you may not work for someone else. Okay?
It's ironic.
Now, with that.
It's ironic you said that because last week we had a vegan chef on by the name of David Bey. And I think it really might have shocked people, the fact that he said that you may not want to be vegan. You might want to embrace a plant-based diet, but being vegan might not be for you. And it's ironic the fact you're saying this again, because I think most individuals, we see these diets, we're on social media, and what takes place is that we're like, oh, that's going to get me to look like this person. That's going to get me to look like that person. And I'm so glad that you said it, because your key word was know your history. We are unique unto ourselves, 100%. 100%. And the fact of you've been through so many, I would say you studied. You took the time and studied, and you went through certain diets and things like that, but you learned who and what you are as far as what makes you physically and your health. Kim, I got a question for you. With all these things that you've done, all right, when did you decide to make the step and you're like, you know what, I'm going to become a trainer? What unlocked that in you? You know, was it something that you said, I'm just going to do, or, you know?
No, actually, it's ironic you asked that because now that I think about it, I've been asked. Each time I was asked, could you please train me? Could you please pose me? Could you please help me with my eating? Could you please come over and check me out for a moment? Just come and listen to my heart, what you think. I was asked. I didn't, just say, hey, I'm going to be a trainer.
Right.
So it actually grew from someone asking me to do it. And I ended up loving it. I embraced it, became a doula instructor. Then I began training people in the gym and cardio kickboxing. It just went everywhere. Now I became a pole instructor. Everywhere. I became a posing coach. That was weird. But as far as the training is concerned, someone asked me. And because I already knew my way around the gym and they were working on some problem areas, ladies, we all got that problem area. We know. We always complain about our midsection and our butt.
Yep, that's what trainers hear all the time. Y'all say booty. Yeah, everybody wants to be booty. So I had ladies walk up to me and ask me, how did I get my booty to sit up so high? Okay. And so, I never looked at it that way. But okay. So, and it got to be more than one sister walking up to me asking. Well, I can imagine your look on your face. Excuse me? What? My shoulders are just like that. No, nothing really was. No, the booty? That is the booty. So I actually had a sister say, hey, you need to put a video together. Build a booty. So I said, I'm not going to do that. And now here I look now and they got videos out about building booty. I just never thought that was. So how did you build your booty? For the people out there who know, I can hear them there. I know they're like, well, ask her how she built the booty. Like, this, make it sense. No. So, there are different body types, number one. Okay. So you have to go according to your body type. And at that, when I first started, I was honestly from the no booty tribe. I had no booty. Okay. And I ended up, doing a host of things, from squats. Now my squats, I bottom out. I had to bottom out for my booty to build. Meaning, ASS to grad, as they say. You can say the whole word. We're a podcast. You're free. Okay. ASS to grad. I ended up doing that in the gym, but I did it with the Smith machine. And I would start with just the bar, just to get the flexibility down and make sure everything was fine and my form was fine before, really getting in deep. Now that's what worked for me to lift my glutes all the way up. The really deep squats and then the really deep leg press, bringing those knees back as far as you can and pushing with force. So the full range of motion squats. Full range. And of course,
hey, those locals have nothing. They can't do anything but, react.
Now, were you doing
and build.
heavy weights, or were you doing more repetition?
When I first started out, I did lightweight, and I did what everybody else did. First set, did 15. Second set, you go up a little bit higher, 12. Third set, you go up a little bit higher. You do 8 to 12, whatever you can do there. And that's what I did. I did traditional workout. Now, to build and to isolate, I really had to pay attention to myself. In the mirrors that are in the gym, I had to really pay attention and listen to my body, and really get in touch with my muscles. And then the range of motion that might work for someone over here wasn't necessarily it for me. But I would feel where my glutes would activate, in the squat. And then I would know, okay, that's going to be my floor. That's what I need to hit in order to really engage my glutes. And I had to hit, ass to grass for my glutes to build. And of course, after that, oh my goodness, booty was so big, my mama was even saying something. She was complaining. She was like, now, Kim, we need to talk about all that back there.
What? You know what? So wait. So
we talk about all that back there. We need to work on that now. It's getting a little bit too big there.
Really? So wait.
Yes.
So let's recap. Basically, and I like the things that the way you explain it, because you're talking about building that mind muscle connection of being able to feel what muscles or what's activating what muscles, but the basic thing,
range of motion needs to be taken.
Right. And the basic thing I'm really hearing is the fact that you're really taking the time to experiment and see what works for your body. Not really and I'm saying this because many individuals come to us as trainers, and the first thing they say, and we've talked about this before, is they want a body like this person, a body like that person, and what I find is that with that type of mindset, it leaves them with the thing of not focusing on who and what they are. Focusing on the uniqueness again as who they are. So for you and what you're doing, and I want everybody to really take the time and really listen, and this is with everything in life. She's going through everything she's dealing with is she's really taking it to herself and being unique as to what is going to work for her. And that's really what's the most important. It's especially as you were saying, dealing with the ass to grass and and the range of motion and the amount of reps you're doing, and really figuring out those things, because this is one thing I do not like, and this is from trainers. I do not like when a trainer tries to use certain training methods that's just for them, thinking that it's going to work for everybody. You can start with a semi template, but really it's about that person finding out what's going to work for them. How is this going to help you? There's no one plan that's just for everybody, and that's just the simple truth. So
exactly. When I was a trainer, I actually did, before actually training someone, because I would do an assessment, and I think that's just the nerve for me as well. I would do an assessment on you to see how you move, just watching you move, and never anything explosive during the assessment. And of course, everybody that I trained was like, "What is she looking for?" I'm looking to see your form. I'm looking to see if your hips are off. I'm looking to see if one leg is longer than the other. I'm looking to see, if your spine is off. If there's something, once again, before you hit the gym, before you do any meal plan, you got to take into account what you're bringing to the table before you begin anything. And there's some people I've had to turn away and say, hey, you need to go see a chiropractor, or you need to go see your doctor about this. I didn't work with them if the blood pressure was too high. I actually, yes, I make you go and get your blood pressure taken before you work out with me. And I would assess everything on you before we, go throw ourselves into the thing, into the gym. And
how many clients did you lose when you did that? Because I could tell you how many I lost.
First few clients, but go ahead. I'm just curious. How many did you lose? Like, do we have to go through this?
Yes, and it's almost like, the moves are almost like yoga moves.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see where your balance is and where your balance is thrown off. So I can know whether or not I can train you doing squats, or I have to do everything single leg.
Right.
So everyone's different, and we touched base on this before. Some people say they want to look like Beyonce. Oh, I want to look like Beyonce. Well, you know what? Beyonce's Beyonce. That's Beyonce's genetic code. How about we look like you?
Exactly.
Let's be the best you. To say you're not it. You're uniquely designed and beautiful in every shape, form, and fashion. A lot has happened in order to just put together your particular body.
That's right.
Okay? In order to exist and to walk and to breathe and to be. So, ladies, come on. Beyonce's gorgeous. Yeah. She works on her stuff. She has a trainer. But guess what? Be you.
Right.
Be you. Be beautiful. Okay, be you. You're beautiful in your own aspect. Okay, you are special and different in your own aspect. Unique in your own aspect. Be the best you. And train your body that is befitting of you and your body's shape, form, and genetic code. And
go ahead.
Happy.
And I just want to say this, because you said it last time, but I want to make sure it gets said today. And Kim and I talked about this, and we laughed about this. This is the other thing. As nice as Beyonce looks, she has a trainer, as Kim said. She also has a nutritionist. She has a team to make her Beyonce. Team. Team. I'm going to make sure I say this loudly. A team. Multiple people. She has a stylist. She has a person to personally form fit her clothes. She has a person to make sure that her nutrition is up to par. She has a dance choreographer. And she dances consistently. And she trains in the gym. So I just wanted to put that out there, sis, because I know you said this last time, and I want for all my sisters out there who's like, hey, I want the Beyonce body. Are you prepared to get your team together? Because I'm letting sis, look, this is the podcast. We put the truth out there. All right? So everybody out there like, I really want this body. Not only that, but my brothers out there who want to be like Michael B. Jordan, because, he's the new guy out there now, or want to be like The Rock. Do you know how much 10,000 calories are? Do you really know how much 10,000 calories are? Everybody was trying to do the Rock challenge when he was trying to eat all this food, people puking, looking like they don't have any sense. You know how when children eat too much and they get that food intoxication, they just walk around in circles. I'm like, same thing. You got to understand what these people are doing. 20%. Rock is an athlete, 100%. Michael B. Jordan is an entertainer. These are individuals who have teams of people to help them with this every day. So I just wanted to make sure we got that, that talked about right there, sis, because I know you're telling them the truth,
But sometimes I just like to come by with a sledgehammer. You know what I mean? Crash. Like, did you just break my dreams apart? Crash, 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 crash. Yes. Just break that apart, okay?
Get your team together.
That's right.
Get your team together. Like I said, I had a trainer. Okay, I didn't do everything myself. I had a trainer. Like I said, I had to do the research myself. And actually, when I did all the different diets, I went to different nutritionists. I had different nutritionists, and I had to go through it to see what worked for me. I had a team though. I had a trainer who helped me get my pro cards in bikini and figure and bodybuilding. Who helped me with powerlifting and pushes me to lift what I lift now. Like I was trying to find out on that bed. That's what my brother.
Why you got to always bring it back to me and what I'm doing? This is the day. What's your deadlift, sis? What's your deadlift, sis? What's your deadlift, sis? How you doing?
So I know flip machine, but you know, my deadlift was 405 pounds.
Okay, that's good. That's nice. Anyway, this is how we normally do, y'all. If this isn't on social media, this is how you see. Don't shame. Always trying to find what you see. I could never, if I wanted to train around Kim, if I wanted to keep things a secret, because she just, so how much you lift today? I see it. What you doing? Why don't you stop peeking? Like, I want to make it a surprise. See? Trying to get people for the summer. They don't know what's coming. Look at you. No, she want me out there to tell the world. Guess what, y'all? I heard he was. No, you didn't. Excuse me. Pardon, ma'am. Anyway, I want to ask you this question. All right, and this has to do with nutrition because I know a lot of individuals. All right, they again wanting certain bodies, wanting certain aesthetic looks. The one thing that they also have a difficulty in understanding the differences is a competition body versus a competition body versus a competition body versus your regular body. A non-competition body, like a bodybuilder's body.
Every day, walking around just home.
Yeah, every day. I'm sorry, I had a little technical difficulty. The lights went out for a second, but that's okay. I paid the bill. It's all good.
You gotta put it in there. Okay.
The bill is paid.
Tell everybody. You better know yourself.
I was about to call the electric company and like, y'all need to stop playing with me. Like, but yeah, like you said,
yeah, the difference between a competition body and a regular fit body is a look, okay? And the meal plans are different, okay? With bodybuilding, we calculate everything down to a T on your meal plans. I mean, we're calculating your protein, your carbs, your fat, even your alcohol. We're measuring your salt, how much water you should drink. Everything is calculated and it goes by how you're looking, okay? And it's very tedious, and the meal plans are set. There's no deviation. There's no deviation from your meal plan. You stick to that meal plan, or else you don't look how you want to look on the stage. And everybody wants to win. So with bodybuilding, it's very exact. Okay, it's as exact as it can possibly be. It's based on how you're looking. There's a lot of updating with, okay, semi pics, how do you look? How do you look? How are you looking? And it's a lot of, testing to see what makes your body look the best. Now, as far as a regular fit body, you're not trying to look shredded. You're not trying to look like your body fat is below 10%. You just want to look toned. Then it's, you have some leeway when you're eating. A lot of times the bodybuilding, you're eating a lot of the same items over and over and over again in bodybuilding. There's not much deviation from, there's not a whole lot of variety. I'm just being real, guys. And there's a reason for that. And I'll get back to that reason why you see people do the same thing over and over again. As far as just the regular fit body, you'll have some recipes, different things you could throw here and there, but you're not trying to look shredded and you're not trying to step on the stage. You're just trying to be fit and eat healthy and eat clean. And that doesn't require looking shredded, looking like The Rock when you hit the stage, or Miss Olympia when you hit the stage, when you go outside and be about with your friends. You just want to eat healthy and look toned. So yeah, you'll still calculate a lot of times it's caloric intake. Some people will still do protein, carbs, and fats, and your alcohol. But for the most part, the toned body, just walk around, a lot of times we'll just do caloric intake. We won't go all the way to supplements and you need to take this vitamin or this mineral or this fat or oil, MCT oil over here, or this protein. Like we cannot do that with that type of body. Bodybuilding, as far as that body is concerned, the shredded body, the reason why you see a lot of that, listen closely, the reason why you don't see a lot of deviation in their meal plan, they like to eat the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, is for this reason. Think about it. Think about a train. You put coal into the engine in order for it to burn and work efficiently, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do coal over and over again. You take a car. You put that same gas in it. This gas works well, that number gas, that mid-grade or high or low premium, whichever one you're doing it. You do that over and over and over again because that's what you're told you have to put in there in order for it to run effectively. All right. So what if you start mixing everything up in your car? Okay? I'm going to do low over here at BP, high grade over here at Racetrack, Walmart gas over here. You could run into some problems eventually. Okay, when you begin to deviate what is told for you to put into your car. It may not run as efficiently. Likewise, the body is the same way. You put the same thing in over and over again, the body begins to know what it has to break down and process. The body knows, oh, I'm going to get some chicken this time. We know how to break that down. Oh, we're going to get some asparagus. We know how to break that down. And it puts it, it knows how to distribute it, burn it, and separate it. And your body is working as efficiently as possible. Whereas when you're throwing a whole bunch of stuff into your body at one time, oh, I got Burger King for breakfast, I got Olive Garden for lunch, I'm eating pasta over here, I'm eating a hamburger over here, I'm eating a salad over here. Your body's going, oh my God, I don't even know what's coming. I don't know what's coming. So we're going to try to do what we do. We're going to take this pasta over here. Okay, we'll need all that pasta. We'll need all those calories, those carbs, and those fats. So guess what? We don't store it over here in your tissue over here. We don't be some fat. Okay? We don't be some fat on your we gonna get you some handles or some what is all those glove handles. Okay, so we didn't eat all that. Okay, the next meal you're eating, whatever. And it's not clean. It's a lot of fat and a lot of carbs, but your body doesn't need all that, especially when you're not exercising. You're not burning everything that you're putting in. So your body begins to accumulate, okay, all these carbs, all these fats, all these sugars, okay, and your body can't break them down. But bodybuilding, it knows what it's getting. Is that. It knows what is coming in. Your body is a machine. Your body is a machine. And it goes, oh, we know we're getting chicken. We know how to process that. We're going to put it over here in the muscle, over here. We're going to burn it. We know what we get next. We're going to put it over here, down here. The abs are going to pop. We know we can pull water with that asparagus. We go after, look, we know what the foods look like on a person. We know what different meats look like on a person. We know what different veggies look like on a person.
Right.
It's all about a look. And the body will metabolize it. And we look at you. And we keep it simple so we can know what to add and what to subtract. Keep it simple.
Kim,
keep it clean.
Can you explain also what bodybuilding is? Because that's one of the misconceptions I see many people have that are coming into the gym. They ask individuals, are you a bodybuilder? Are you bodybuilding? What is a bodybuilder?
Oh, a bodybuilder can be anyone who's building their body with weight, okay? Trying to build muscle or tone. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock. A bodybuilder could be, the slimmest bikini girl you see walking on the beach, okay? Bodybuilders simply are those who decide they're going to use weight in order to build muscle, or to build muscle onto their frame. Or to, what is the word for, to shape their body, shape their body and what they're trying to achieve. Bodybuilder, I want to build a bigger booty. Okay, so I'm building, shaping my glutes. I want to have smaller glutes. Well, I'm still lifting. I'm getting smaller glutes. So it's whomever, a person who decides they want to go into the gym, in particularly bodybuilders deal with weight, okay, and they use the weight and the machine to build their body, their ideal body type.
So,
build them up.
Now,
for the most part.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. And with that definition given, how do you explain to other women? Because this is again, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. Because the biggest thing I get with women coming to me and asking questions is the first thing they say is, I want to slim down or I want to build, but I don't want to look like a man. I don't want to look like those women bodybuilders, with all the muscles and things like that. What do you say to those women out there? Because I know that's one of the biggest conversations.
Oh gosh, I get it first. I'm personally not everybody's cup of tea myself, but honey, don't worry, you probably never will. That's a lot of work.
She cold as ice, boy. She cold as ice.
We probably never will, and vice versa. We probably don't want to like you. No, to stay real. Women, ladies. Okay? Ladies. Everyone has their different image of what they want to look like.
Right.
Okay? So some people want to be really, really slim, and they think that's a good look. Hey, don't knock the lady who wants to be real slim in a gym, lifting the gym. She can be lifted just as much as me. Okay? Don't put it past them. You won't look like a man. That takes a lot of work to get there. And there are some ladies who decide to do that professionally. Okay? So just like I don't want to be an astronaut, okay, because I want to be a nurse, if you don't want to look like the ladies who decide they want to put on a lot of muscles, they don't do that to look like men. Okay, so number one, please stop going to trainers and saying I don't want to look like a man. Okay, no woman wants to look like a man. Okay, no woman wants to look like a man unless she wants to actually be a man. Then that's a totally different show that you talk about. But for the ladies, that's a different show. But for the most part, women don't want to look like men. We don't go and lift weights to look like men. Personally, I lift weights because I love being strong. I love being strong. I think muscle is sexy. I think some definition is sexy. I like having some shoulders and some guns and some legs and some muscle. I think it's sexy. Heck, I throw on a dress and I'll blow your mind. Okay? Just as well as some lady who decides she's going to want to have the muscle.
Somebody got confidence over there, boy. You hear that, fellas? You hear that, everybody out there? Hear that, ladies?
Yeah, I'll throw on a fitted dress. No problem throwing the mini and the heels. I can do it too. And I can do it just like my sister who decides she doesn't want all the muscle, but she just wants to have the strength and she just wants to be toned. I don't knock her for what she wants to do. No, I don't go to the gym and lift weights to say I want to look like a man. And to be honest with you, if you hit my page, you'll see I don't look anything like a man. I don't look anything. I believe in being feminine, and I love femininity. I believe in being graceful and ladylike. Yes, but I do have muscle. So, no, ladies, please stop saying I don't look like a man. You won't. That takes a lot of work. Okay, you won't. So just because you went over there and picked up the 2-pound or 5-pound weight, you really think you're going to look like a man doing that? Okay, please, ladies, get away from the 2 pounds and the 5 pounds and the 10 pounds. Please, ladies, please. Move up. Build up your strength. Okay? It actually helps build your bones. All right, the more you lift, and the more you strengthen your bones. Actually, you can go to your primary care physician to tell you that. Okay, so don't be afraid to go and pick up the little heavy. You're not gonna look like a dude. Okay, that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to look like a dude. Okay, and then likewise, guys, please. Stop saying to the ladies in the gym because it happened to me. Oh, you need to stop lifting all that heavy stuff. That's what men do. You're gonna be looking like a man.
Yeah, go ahead, sis. Excuse me. I'm gonna you tell them because I have something to follow that up with.
A lot of the guys, I go into the free weight section and I'll lift with the guys lift. I'll bench with the guys bench. Look, if your ego is bruised, sorry for you. Keep it moving. Don't say anything to me. I'm doing what I do. But just because you see where I'm lifting and you're concerned, okay, let me be me. That I know what I'm doing. I don't need any help unless I ask for it. And I don't need you to tell me what you think of women who lift as much as you do. Okay? If your ego is bruised, keep it to yourself. If I lift more than you, then hey, maybe you need to up your game. But don't say, oh, you're trying to be like a man. I'm not. I'm just trying to be the best.
So I just want to add my little, my subcaption under what it is you say, sister. See, she said it so nice and so classy. I just want to say it in a little hood vernacular for you. Stop being a punk. If you see her lifting more weights and you can't do it, don't be a punk. I just want to say that. Make sure that everybody understood that. Punks. We don't appreciate that here at the De La Fit podcast. Keep your mind, like the sister said, mind your business and don't be a punk because you can't lift the weight. Because you probably can't lift the weight. Probably about 285 pounds and she's still squatting and benching you. Damn shame. Damn shame. Sis, do me a favor. Where can the people find you online on your social media? Please, can you drop your social media out?
Yes, I can. My Instagram is Bionic Woman Kim. You can find all the things that I do there. You'll find some of everything on that page because I do some of everything. And you can find me on Facebook under Kimberly Robertson, ROBERTSON Frempong, F as in Frank, R-E, M as in Mary, P as in Peter, O-N-G. And I also have another page, and that is Bionic Woman Kim on Facebook as well. And I have, my company's name is Bionic Fitness. You can find Bionic Fitness on Facebook, and my website address is www.bionicfitbody.com.
Please, everybody out there, hit this sister up. She knows what she's talking about, although she always teasing me. That's okay, because we still homies. But no, seriously, hit this sister up. She's 100% about the information she gives, and she's always intuitive, and she cares. And that's the type of people we always want on the show. So, Kim, we appreciate you for being on the Day Off the podcast. We hope you'll be a guest soon. Again.
Yeah.
All right, you'll come back on. Next time, maybe we'll talk about, something like, how much we both doing in our bench, or in our deadlift. Because I know somebody can hear it, in your voice. Somebody wants to have a little competition. I can hear it, and I'm just like, no, leave me alone. Because, see, y'all don't understand. First time I met her, she was coming at me, y'all, just, how much deadlifted? I'm like, what are you, a bully? Are you some type of bully or something? Like, I'm not scared of you. I'm cautious, but I'm not intimidated. Bullying is a bad thing. They have a whole thing about that now. You can't bully people anymore, Kim.
No,
you can't do that.
No, it's a challenge. I challenge people.
See, she always challenging me, y'all. I guarantee you. You're going to see something on my Facebook, I should say on my Instagram soon. Challenge. I'm like, what? What do you? I just woke up. Why? I haven't even sipped coffee.
You are doing great, brother. You are amazing. I've been watching. You need to check out his page now. Come on, guys. Really, you need to check out his page. Oh, my goodness. Him and that doggone yoga. I'm watching now that was. What is that thing you roll over to get your back to arch more? Yeah, I've been watching. I got the little yoga roll thing you create. His own stuff.
Oh, so see, you understand right there. I don't even talk about that. I keep mine private. You understand? You understand right there. But see, we're going to talk about that another time. Everybody, thank you for tuning into the Daily Fit Podcast. We appreciate you.
You're now tuned into the De La Fit Podcast.
So I hope everybody enjoyed this week's podcast. Want to just thank all of our guests this week. Want to thank Sidiqua Bey. First of all, I'd like to apologize to Miss Sidiqua Bey. First things foremost, I have an issue with pronouncing certain names and words. And I'm saying that because I totally jacked up Sidiqua's name, and I want to apologize to you and to her for that, everyone. Her name is Sidiqua Bey, and I keep saying Sidiqua, and that's because I have difficulties with certain inflections and how of maneuvering my tongue in certain diction. So it's something I've struggled with for many years, and I practice it. And even though it's a running joke, I don't know, for some of you, if you've tuned into the podcast, you'll know that part of the joke is sometimes you'll hear me saying A-E-I-O-U, and doing those little exercises. But those are, that's a truth. I constantly practice on those things because I do have issues pronouncing people's names, and it might sound ironic with the unique name that I have, but it's a truth. So I try to work on that, but I just wanted to say an apology to Miss Sidiqua Bey for that, just for the simple fact of I know how it is to have your name jacked up. And also I like to send a shout out to her for participating on the De La Fit podcast, dropping that information, which I think is not only needed, but should be a consistent knowledge for health and dealing with women who are going to be mothers, soon to be mothers. A doula is in my opinion, a very integral part of pregnancy. And we really appreciate having Sidiqua on the show to talk about that. And we're going to contact her in the future for those that want to know more about a doula, what a doula is, or just want more information. Sidiqua left her information, but we're also going to make sure that it gets posted, that it's put out. Also, want to thank Bionic Woman Kim for coming on to the show. That's a beautiful soul right there, beautiful spirit. She has a plethora of knowledge, and we thank her for coming on to the De La Fit podcast. This has been an interesting week. As the weeks continue, they get more interesting. We try to progress consistently. We're always pushing forward, always trying to do our best, and always trying to elevate and elevate others as well. So I thank everybody for coming to the podcast and tuning in and listening. If you have any comments, if you have any topics you would like us to tackle, please do us a favor. Send us an email at delafit13@gmail.com. That's right. This week I remember the email correctly. So that's right. It's delafit13@gmail.com. Contact us. We will respond. I will respond. Somebody will respond as quickly as possible. Also, we can be found at day_la_fit podcast on Instagram. So also, if you want to send us comments and things there as well, you can do that. And for all of those listening in, yes, we are on all platforms. We are on Spotify. We are on iTunes. We are on Google Play Music. We are on Google Cast. We are on iCast. We are on many different platforms. And yes, we do have a YouTube, and we also have a SoundCloud. Now, we'll let everybody know that we don't get to update those as quickly, just because it's a separate automatic upload when it comes to those. But we are getting to those as soon as possible. So for those that are like, hey son, hey, listen, we want to listen, but we only use YouTube, or we only use SoundCloud, we are going to get to those as soon as possible. We have not forgotten you. It is a very, very integral process. It is a consistent process, and we're wearing many different hats. So give us some time. We will get those up there. But to everybody who is tuning in, who is listening, we thank you so much. And we love your support. And if you can continue to support us, we love you for it. As always, like, follow, share. If you think there's something worth hearing here at the podcast, please share it to somebody else. If it might not just be for you, it might be for someone else. So please share it, because sharing is caring. As always, have a healthy see, there's that issue. Have a healthy, fit, week, day, life.
You're now tuned in to the De La Fit podcast.